happening.
All right, I'll try to give my impression at a 10,000 foot view because I've seen some people get it wrong on YouTube, which is fair. They don't know finance. So there's this company, GameStop. There are people who think it's going to go bankrupt. It trades at $3 a share. They make a bet by shorting it that it's going to go to zero and they'll profit if that happens. The thing with shorting a stock is if the stock goes up enough, the people that you made the bet with will force you to buy it so that they know you have it. Because basically you can lose, when you buy a stock for $3, you can lose $3. It goes to zero. When you bet on a stock to go down, you can lose infinite money.
Because it can go up.
It can go up forever.
Yeah.
Someone on Reddit, first of all, there's this place called Wall Street Bets. I used to follow it. I actually had to stop because it gives you FOMO. It makes you see all these people that turn $1,000 into $100,000 because what they do on Wall Street Bets is make crazy leveraged bets with options.
And just to, for those of you who don't know, leverage means they take out debt in order to finance it.
Yes.
And options are the kind of bets that you're talking about, which have like uncapped upside and downside.
Well, the leverage is implicit in the option. So basically, instead of just buying a share and saying, hey, I want to own 1% of Charisma on Command, and if it goes up a little, I'll make a little money. If it goes down a little, I'll make a little money. An option says, I want to bet on Charisma on Command to double in value. And if it does, I'll make 10x. But if it only grows 50%, I lose all of the bet. So it goes from an investment to a bet. It's a very different instrument. And so, anywho, someone on Reddit on Wall Street Bets, which I just want to make clear is not full of savants, and you'll see people on there regularly that have lost all of their money. They call themselves degenerate gamblers. He says, I've seen that GameStop has more people betting on it going short than there are actual stocks, which means if this were to go up, they would all be legally forced to buy a share of the stock, and there aren't enough shares of the stock to do that. So they would be scrambling to outbid each other because they're legally forced to buy the stock, and the price will skyrocket. It's called a short squeeze. So people start buying it from Wall Street Bets because they think it's a good idea. They buy enough that the price goes up a little bit. This triggers the short squeeze. So then some people who are short want to cover their losses. So they start buying. So then other people start buying. And so it's actually the frenzy that causes the price to go up isn't just, all these Redditors think it's funny to buy GameStop.
No, it's the same as the run on the banks.
It's all these Redditors caused this mechanical thing called a short squeeze where now the people who bet against it have to buy.
And if I don't do it right now or 5 minutes ago, I have to buy it at an even higher price, which means I lose more money.
Beating each other up. So it goes crazy. It skyrockets. It's all over the news. It goes from $3 to $50 to $120 to $340. It went down to $250 last night. It's Thursday today for people we're recording. In a half hour, Thursday morning, it went from $270 a share to $470 a share. And then they froze the stock, which is the most insane thing that I have never heard of. They froze
the stock? What does that mean?
Yeah. So that's a good question. People, I'll talk about it from the consumer's perspective. People that use Robinhood, Ameritrade, TD, my Bank of America account, like even the big banks will not let you purchase.
Can your dad's broker friend on the New York Stock Exchange still purchase
There
GME?
are shares available. If you're a hedge fund.
If you're a hedge
fund, you can buy GameStop.
Okay.
But I can't.
Yeah.
And I'm not using just Robinhood, the free app. Like I can't go through my broker and buy a share. So it's not just the little guy who's getting, not that I'm a big guy, but like I don't use just the free app. And maybe you're saying, the free app doesn't owe you anything.
Yeah.
I can't go through my bank to buy a share of GameStop
So
today.
is a governmental entity or
No, not the government. Private businesses. So this is where it gets shady.
The New York Stock Exchange?
Not the New York Stock Exchange. So just so people, I will rewind a little bit. When all of this went crazy, the people that made the bet that it would go down lost billions of dollars. There were hedge funds that were basically saying, we're going to explode because of this. We're going to go bankrupt because of this. It was being lauded as the first time in history where the little guys finally won a game against the big guys, because finance and investing tends to be this rigged game where they use literally $1 million algorithms to just outrace you, or they put tons of money behind things and they make bets that you don't even have access to.
Or I mean, you talked about Bill Ackman, who will say like, oh my God, it's catastrophic. Everything's going down.
Yes.
And as it's going down, he'll buy what he believes is the bottom.
Came in during COVID and was
he doesn't think it's the worst thing in the world. He wants you to think it's the worst thing in the world. So you sell your assets to him at a discount.
Yeah. I'm trying to not get too deep into finance weeds for people that aren't interested, but at a high level, the game has been rigged for the people that have money for a long time. And this was the first major instance where the little guys were banding together to win. And these hedge funds, who, by the way, were trying to profit off of betting a company would go bankrupt, which is obviously bad for the company and bad for the employees of the company and all that. And once they make the bet, they do apply pressure to the extent they can to make the share price go down. So they don't just make the bet and walk away. They are trying to make sure they win. And they lost their shirts.
And by the way, they're trying to basically bankrupt GameStop, which is a real company that has real implications, which may or may not have gone bankrupt in the absence of people.
And listen, maybe it shouldn't exist in the long run because things are going digital. But no, they're trying to speed up the process, which has real world implications, which is why people were like, this is a great thing that's happening. Because we're not bankrupting someone who bet that solar panel company would do well and we're profiting because we're hurting solar energy. It's like, no, screw you guys that we're trying to bet on the shutdown of a business that's trying to stay afloat as the world changes. You don't deserve to get rich off this. We beat you at your own game. We understood the rules of a short squeeze. You got here because of your own greed. Because if they had just shorted, let's say there's 100 shares. If they've just shorted 50 of them, then this wouldn't have happened. It's because they shorted, depending on the numbers you look at, I couldn't find a good source, somewhere between 90% to 140% of the total shares. So yes, someone had a good idea to do this, but then you all hopped in and you got really greedy and you set yourself up with this vulnerability. We saw it and we took advantage of it. Give us your money is kind of how the Redditors feel. It's like, we outsmarted you at your own rigged game. And so then they wake up and they realize, oh, this is even more rigged than we thought because now we only can sell,
which means that
shares.
This skyrocketing price, now you can't buy, you can't push the price up.
It's insane. Today, this morning, just people might not understand how insane this is. It went from 270 to 470 in a half hour. It was going to go to the moon. It was going to go, this thing should be worth $10, by the way, just to be clear. None of this has anything to do with GameStop becoming more valuable. But because of basically the greedy system, and
there's a meme stock psychology, and my sister texted me this morning. It was like, buy GME, and I was like, whoa, sell.
No, Elon Musk tweeted about it. It's great. It's funny, and ultimately, it's harmless unless you think that a hedge fund manager who made a bet and got it wrong deserves your sympathy. Which to me,
it's not just a hedge fund manager. There's people with money in the hedge fund, and they might not be evil people. Like I wouldn't say harmless. I would say it harms very wealthy people.
It's the game they set up.
Yeah.
This is like me going into a roulette wheel, putting something on green, having it come up red. Green, just so people know, is the most unlikely one, and then being upset and trying to shut down the casino before they take my money. So it's fascinating. I talked to a bunch of friends of mine who work at hedge funds or work in finance, and I got different angles that I'll share as we go through. But that's what happened at a high level. Then today, like I said, it was skyrocketing to the moon, and then people lost the ability to buy it. So now you can either hold, which keeps the price flat, or sell.
But then now there's this same pressure that there was on the way up, which is, oh shit, now people get scared, and which is going to push the price down, because as soon as somebody sells, the price dips, and somebody else sees that it's going down.
So then the question is, what made these people stop letting people buy? Because I will tell you, the message that you're going to get from Bank of America or Robinhood is, we're trying to protect you
from volatility.
Because the share is only worth $10. We all know it. And to be fair, if you buy at 1,000 and you don't get out at 1,500, it will go to 3 and you'll lose all your money. I can go on these same places that won't let me buy GameStop, and I can make a bet that by the end of the day, Tesla will double. And I can do it by buying options. And if I lose, I will lose 100% of the money I bet. And they will let me bet all of my money. So it seems hard to believe for me
that they want to protect.
They want to protect. Because at first I was like, maybe this is a good shutdown. People are going to lose their shirts, and I fully see that. But I also think that's the name of the game with stock investing. If you want to buy GameStop at $400, which is insane to me, you should be allowed to. And yeah, you Robinhood, you don't care if I lose my money. You'll let me lose all of my money right now, as long as it's on a different ticker than GameStop. Like today, I can go buy options in Robinhood that are insane. And so I go, okay, doesn't seem like you're set up to protect me from losing all my money in other avenues.
Well, which hedge fund got in there? Which guy made some phone calls and said...
So, well, they don't know, but I'll tell you.
Said, if you don't shut this, or if you do shut this down, I'll give you $1 billion. You know what I mean? Because like I've been doubling down, because you were explaining to me, I don't totally get the mechanics, but when there's a margin call and you are asked to put up more collateral, right, for the bet that you made, you can either leave the position that you have and take your losses, or you can like keep putting in money and say, no, let it go. So I'm speculating intensely here. Possible that somebody has been doubling down knowing that they would rig the game at the end. You know, they put all their collateral in and then they'll just watch it crater and not lose as much money as.
So I'll tell you so this is now, by the way, not only am I not a financial advisor, but this is from a friend. I didn't talk to anyone at Citadel, but my friend is a hedge fund guy. And he said, Citadel is around 50% of Robinhood's revenue, and they're getting absolutely fucked by this. So they put the screws to Robinhood, knowing that if they allowed people to sell and not buy, that the stocks would crater and Citadel could cover their shorts. That's just one guy. I'm just conveying the message. I do know he's as well connected as you could get in the hedge fund world, but he doesn't work at Citadel.
Yeah.
So call it speculation, a hypothesis, whatever you want to call it. But so this is, I think, one interesting bit of psychology that people forget sometimes, myself included. If something is free, you're not the customer, you're the product. So Instagram is free, except you have to deal with the ads. Robinhood is free. You get to go on with no fees and buy and sell shares. So how do they make their money? I don't know, because I don't know Robinhood well. Maybe they advertise.
Is Robinhood free? I thought Robinhood they don't take a commission.
No, they don't take. Now maybe what they do is they say, how much do you want to buy this share for? $25. Okay, I'm only going to buy it for you for $25.01.
We could figure this out with a Google. Yeah.
If the market won't do it, then I just tell you it's not available. Yeah. So I skim off the top, maybe. I'm hearing that it's very likely that what they do is they run their trades through companies like Citadel, that basically they do that for free for Robinhood in exchange for the information, so they can front run retail traders. It's just very useful to know what all the retail traders are buying and selling.
God, man. So this is okay. So I'm hearing it, and I don't want to overreact, because a lot of this is tentatively understood, might be wrong. But yeah, okay. So it's cliched. The game is completely rigged. You can win as long as you don't screw the house, which is the same as a casino. Like, you can take up a bunch of money, but if you start counting cards and beating the house,
oh, dude, if you go into
that's cheating.
If you go to a poker table and you sit down and you rip off a client,
no, if you,
you give the house 1%, because that's how it works, fine.
If a drunk 18-year-old son of a sultan comes in and loses $1 billion, they don't care. But if you start counting cards, you are gone. You can never come back. So I'm seeing that same dynamic at play. And it's the complete unprincipled application of rules. And God, we're seeing the same thing everywhere in society, for your safety. You know, like, so much is being done in the name of our safety these days. It is absolutely incredible. Yeah. And I don't, just because I'm on YouTube, I'm reminded of like the uneven application of rules. The 2016 election versus the 2020 election, where YouTube comes in for 2020 and says, you cannot say that this election was unfair based on interference. And it's like, wait a second. I'm pretty sure we've been doing that for the last 4 years. I'm fine with this as a rule if you want to make this the rule, but let's make it the rule such that nobody can do this. And it's the same dynamic that's going on here.
So, I mean, I woke up today, I'd been covering this GameStop stuff anyway, thinking about maybe making a video of it for Charisma on Command.
Hope that you guys enjoyed that clip. If you want to see more like this and have us do more podcasts, we are 100% funded by our generous patrons. And if you'd like to contribute, there's a link in the description, and we'll have one pop up on the screen right here, so that we can do more podcasts where we have fun conversations and hopefully some deep ones like this. Either way, hope that you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one.